name is Aude. Good you. So I'm Aude and I'm in charge of a program called Carrefour des Possibles d'Afrique. It's not really easy for me to translate it, but the idea is, yes, I think we are also connectors in West Africa. It's really what we try to do in this region. And yes, I think our motto is just let's cultivate, spread innovation in West Africa. So I'm based in Dakar, in Senegal, and I work with spaces and people like Jokkolabs. Jokkolabs was one of our first partners, but we also work with a lot of other actors in West Africa. But it's not just about innovation in Senegal, because Senegal is a little country. We think it's really important to connect with other countries, with other communities, and yes, Senegal plus Ivory Coast plus Cameroon plus we need to be bigger. So what is Carrefour des Possibles? So Carrefour des Possibles Afrique is an event we organize each year. So it consists in a selection of 10 projects, the 10 best innovative projects, because it's about innovation. And what we mean by innovation at Carrefour des Possibles Afrique is not just about technological innovation, but it's about social innovation based on IT. So we really try to identify projects, IT projects that aim to change, the everyday life of African people. It's really what we mean by innovation at Carrefour des Possibles Afrique. So it's a selection of 10 projects, and they are pitched in 6 minutes. Yes, we select projects in 8 countries. So you have Senegal, Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Togo, Benin, Cameroon, and we try to improve our network. Next slide, yes. So the first, each year we organize this event in a different city, West African city. So we try to, for us it's really important to do that, because we want to meet the different communities and try to benefit, to make them benefit from this event. So the first event was in 10,010 in Bamako. Next slide. The second edition was in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, and the third one was in Dakar last year, and it will be this year in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. So it's an event, an annual and Pan-African event, but it's also more informal events in each country during the year. So these little events are called Café Carrefour, and it's the first step before the final event organized each year. So we have the Café Carrefour in Senegal and Ivory Coast, and we want to do them this year also in Cameroon and Togo in Benin. And Carrefour des Possibles is not just events, it's also, a really support to innovators. And each year, and before each event, we have between 4 and 5 days of coaching. Because we think it's really important for the people we select to meet and to exchange about their experience and what they can their work and the best practices they can have in their own country. So we spend a lot of time coaching and supporting this innovator we select, and try to connect them, because I think it's really important they can exchange. So yes, we aim to promote and support innovation in West Africa, and to promote innovators from West Africa. So yes, we have a lot of works of identification of the best projects in West Africa and in French-speaking African countries. One of our goals is really to inspire young people when they see other young people that lead projects. They want to do it. So for us, it's really important to showcase this project in order to inspire other people. We spend a lot of time by improving the project's value proposals and pitch. And yes, we are connectors. We want to create connection between innovators and potential partners, and between innovators and themselves. So yes, for us, the Carrefour des Possibles to be a starting point for new projects between them. And a lot of times after the Carrefour des Possibles, they keep communicating between them and beginning new projects, new ideas. So yes, it's really stimulating. Next slide. So some example of project, because I think you will discover after my presentation Senegal is a startup on projects, but I would like to just talk about some projects from West Africa. So for example, you have a Just TV, that is a Cameroonian startup that is that works about social tickets, really promising startup in Cameroon. We also had in 10,010 a project that was about payment and wireless payment. So it was in a Malian startup called Tagatitude. We also have, for example, a project about birth declaration in Ivory Coast, a project about for the women, about planification, so the way you can not manage, but yes, when you are a woman here in Africa, you need to plan the children you want to have. So it's a tool, a mobile tool that helps you to plan this. We also had the Cardiopad project. I don't know if you know this project, but there was a lot of buzz around it. It's a project that follows up heart disease, and yes, in Cameroon it was a really big issue, and Arthur, with this project owner, he develops all the hardware and the software of this. It was the first medical tablet in Africa. So all these guys, you also have Dadia, who is very the first game designer in West Africa. So yes, I think Carrefour des Possibles Africa is really a first place for these innovators from West Africa to showcase their project. It's a really starting point for them. And you have a lot of other ones. You can go after. Yes, after. Yes. So just to, yes, in a nutshell, for how many applications we had this last year. In 2010, we just received 30 applications. So it was the first year of Carrefour des Possibles, but really hard to find innovators at the beginning. But after we had 80 in 2011, and last year 160 projects. So I think each year we had more and more applications, and I think it's a proof that the work Jokkolabs and other maker spaces, incubators made are really, really relevant, or really, yes, that they made results. So we hope this year to have more than 160 projects. Nadia, the next slide. So for us, our challenge, so our present and challenge for the future is, the first one is each year to find innovators, because innovators are not people you can find in the place you expect them. So it's really hard. You have a lot of events in Senegal, in Ivory Coast, in Mali, but it's always the same people. So us, we really want to, yes, meet them, but also try to find other people that, yes, can have really interesting ideas. For example, the last year, we met a guy that was in Togo, and he developed robots. So he was not in a Togo tech hub, or he was just there developing his robots, but he didn't have any visibility. So it's this kind of guy we are looking for example. So for us, it's one of our first challenge. Another challenge for us, I think, Karim told you a little about that, is about trust and sharing your ideas. Because, you know, here in Africa, young people are not really willing to talk about their idea because they are afraid of other people that could, yes, steal their idea. So we make a lot of work to talk with them, try to have a trust, yes, to be trusty, and try to push them to talk about their concepts, their ideas, their project, and go up on the scene to, yes, say, yes, I did that, and it's really important, you can do that. So for us, it's really important to work about that here. Another thing another challenge for us is say them to be aware of what's going on outside. For example, a lot of entrepreneurs here are just working on Senegal, and Senegal is a really little market. So you can just stay in Senegal. You need to go in, I don't know, Egypt, and develop projects also for this market. So for us, it's really important to, yes, talk about that, and also push them to benchmark other projects, because each year we have the same project about education, about agriculture, about health, but no really innovative new point of view about e-health, e-education in Africa, or even for other countries. So for us, it's really important to say that yes, you can just not make the new blueprint for African people, or the new, but really need to be innovative. And for that, you need to go from a technology-driven point of view to a human-centered approach. Because I'm really convinced you cannot address and design products and services for Western countries. You cannot do the same here in Africa. You really need to have a specific approach for designing products and mobile services here for Africa. And you really need to, yes, not just be technology driven, but really go on the field, meet your target user, and try to, think of new products that are really dedicated to these people. For example, I met a lot of people, of developers that want to address agriculture people and or farmers, and they just propose them a solution based on internet. And you know, in rural areas here in Africa, farmers, they just don't have a smartphone and they don't have access to internet. So you really need to begin before beginning your application. Just go on the field and meet these people, and yes, look what they have, how they currently use their mobile phone, for example, and try to think and imagine a solution that is really relevant for these people. So I'm a UX designer, so it's my my field, but I think it's really important. And another thing really important here, and it's about also for developers, because in the community we have a lot of developers or technical background people. So it's to do rapid prototyping, so to do mock-ups, to do proof of concept really quickly of your ideas, and test and iterate. For me, it's really important, and I think we are not really good enough at this here in West Africa. Another point, it's yes, we really try to identify people that are led by women, because we don't have a lot of women in our communities and in West Africa that are entrepreneurs. You see that I think there are more men here than women. You have 2 women in your delegation, it's but here it's also really rare. So we try to work on that. And also a thing we want to work on this year is a connection with innovators from the diaspora. Because each year we receive a lot of projects coming from the diaspora, but we don't know exactly what to do, because we are working for West Africa, so they are from West Africa but not in West Africa, so we want to try to work, because Jokkolabs, for example, they are now in France, so we think we are going to connect even more with the diaspora, because I think they can bring a lot to innovators from here. So we want to keep working on that. So thanks. You can find all the information about CDP Africa on our website. We also have a Facebook and we are on Twitter, so don't hesitate to contact me if you or to come and discuss if you want more information.